Hello YouTube, this is Chaos Ripid and this is another episode of Sudeki Grind. Man, so much has happened in my life. Where can I start? But you know what? First off, I'm hoping everybody's having a blessed one, a fantastic day. I'm hoping everybody's having a fantastic life. You know what I'm saying? And everything. Had to fix my headphones. So much to catch up on, but I know I can't really say too much. You can hear the octaves in the room, and everything. I can say this. I started playing D&D again, so that's cool. Got me a new bike, and everything. Ride it to work, cause it's better and more efficient. It was, 90-degree weather, riding your bike is a lovely thing. Sarcasm involved. I wanted to use this episode mainly as a catch-up, but not like giving all the information. Because some things in my life I like to keep private. So, let's see where we can go. Hold on, I'm good. Just stay where I'm at. Continue. Let's see. I always forget how to. But I will say this much. Make sure you choose the right friends in your life. Now, I know some people who might hear this say, "Oh, you're talking about walking away from people. You're talking about no, it ain't that." Because I know people like to twist words around, and I don't care to. In general, always, please, people, choose the right people in your life. You are the 5 friends that you hang around with. You know what I'm saying? Now, you're going to hear me moving around because I have to get something, because I'm eating dinner, as you can hear, and trying to protect it from a fly. As you can hear this, lovely thing, because my dumb self chose to fix myself sorry, I've been screaming. To fix myself some green beans, green peas, and cream corn. And yes, I sprinkled that horrible, sugar on it, but it is what it is. I have my. Don't judge me. Reason being is because, one, food is scarce. We all know this. Eggs. It's bad when you gotta go to the gas station and go like. No, you gotta go to your bills and go like, do I want to pay the light bill or do I want to buy some eggs? Like, that's bad. That's bad. Like, I was like, you know what? I used to like eat scrambled eggs all the time, and now it's like, that's a rarity now. Like, why? Like, why? Why would I even want to nowadays? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I chose to try to go for a more vegetarian diet, but it ain't always healthy because technically, I got sugar in it, so it ain't supposed to be healthy, and everything. I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not vegan or anything. I mean, it's sugar. I'm neither, but food is food. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, food is food. And I'm going to eat. So, people can get mad. I don't care. Because I'm gonna eat. I'm sorry. I know that might sound like oh my God, like he's offending somebody. Look, I'm sorry. You're gonna always offend somebody. I know that sounds bad. I know it does, and I don't try to. But if you're living and you're breathing, you're gonna offend somebody. Just don't do it on purpose. If you do it on accident, person up, because everybody has pronouns nowadays, and I respect it. Stand up for what you believe in, but apologize. Okay, it's all right. Apologize. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I want to be respected, and other people want to be respected too. So, just learn to apologize and move on, and learn to hold on. Here's one. Learn to accept apologies. If they're done, if it's done on accident, that's one thing. But if it's done on purpose, then hey, I got no words. Do you call it a day? But anyway, you are the 5 friends you hang around with 90% of the time. So yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta watch who's in your circle. For real. Like all seriousness, you gotta watch it. And it ain't. Let me say this. I don't say that because of events that have happened. I don't care most of the time. It's literally fact. You are literally the 5 friends you hold close and you hold dear. Whether it's family, friends, people co-workers, the environment, you are who you hang around with. So watch who you hang around with. Okay? Watch who you give your energy to. Which I know that sounds superficial or not superficial. That sounds superstitious or whatever. No. Who you give your energy to is who you gonna kind of emulate. Not all the way, but think about it. If a husband and wife get together, eventually they're gonna kind of start acting like one another. If you hang around your dog long enough, your dog and you start looking alike. You know what I'm saying? These things happen. I know you don't try not to and all this, but these things happen. You are your environment. I know that's no. Well, let me say it like this. Not necessarily, because some people are forced to be in an environment that they don't want to be in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're a child, you are forced to be in whatever environment your parents put you in. Hands down, don't matter. It is what it is, okay? But you can choose your friends. Even if that means you got to be by yourself all the time, 24/7, 7 days a week, until you're able to, level up and leave and do what you need to do. Because sometimes, like I said, you don't get a choice. And let me say, that sucks. Let me truly say, that truly sucks. But when you get a chance to get out and be yourself, you can choose to still be in that environment even if you're mentally checked out. Okay? So watch who you give your energy to. Let me say it that way. Watch who you give your energy to. And remember, and there's something else I never thought I'd say. Use your words. Let me say that again. Use your words. I'm sorry. People cannot predict what you think, what you feel. That is not something that you can visually see. And from my understanding, feelings come and feelings go. But words, or once they go out, they can't go back, right? Plus, it's a form of communication. Don't get me wrong. There's other forms of communication, hint, shoulder shrug, or something. But the majority of the time, when you're on the phone, when you're talking to your boss, the majority of the time, if you're talking and you're having a conversation and you need to really say something, don't you usually just say what you need to say and be done with it? Communication is key. And please, folks, learn to get straight to the point. I have that problem. Yes, I definitely have that problem a lot of times. Getting straight to the point. Make it short and sweet, right? Sometimes, and I will say that this is me too. A lot of times I be trying to explain myself, try to, kind of buffer, what somebody else is going to say, or just predict what somebody else is going to say. Say, okay, look, like, let's say I had a problem with someone, and for whatever reason, I'm like, okay, look, I'm just saying, just in case, this is and the third, I was going down, I didn't mean to do A, B, C, and D. I was just trying to do 1, 2, and 3, and then this happened, and I know you're gonna do A, B, C, and D. So so sometimes it's just best to just be straightforward and just say, hey, look, this is it. And then let the conversation go. Let the conversation flow the way it needs to flow. What I will say is that if you have a problem with something, just say it, right? But hold on. Understand, not everybody's on your same timeline. Why I say that is because some people oh well, you didn't do things when it was this time and this time and this time, and it's like not everybody's on the same wave. Not everybody's on the same timeline. A lot of times people don't really know what's going on until it's like almost too late, because people just communicate differently, A lot of people just like to fix mistakes and move forward, but they don't know unless you verbally say, let me use as an example. Paul, right? Let's use Paul, the name Paul. Paul, let's say I'm talking to Paul. This, from my understanding, makes sense to me. Now, it might not make sense to anybody else. I'm not saying it's supposed to, but it makes sense to me. Hey, Paul, let me pull you to the side for a minute, man. Let me talk to you. Hey, Paul, look, this is what it is. This is what the problem is. I want to solve the problem as efficient as possible, and I don't want to come to you and say some crazy stuff. I want to help. So, if you have anything to say about it, let's talk it out and figure out what we can do to solve it. You see how, let me say, you see how easy that is? Do you truly see how easy that is? Now, watch this. Most people either choose to avoid the problem. Some people choose to add to the problem. Some people choose to, say that they're dealing with the problem, but don't vocally say that there's a problem. And then it escalates and it turns into resentment and contempt. Which, it's not, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that it's easy for people to communicate a lot of times, because we all come from different backgrounds, and a lot of times, us being straightforward can come off as being rude can come off as being, and some people love to curse. Let's be frank on this one. Some people like to curse. Some people like to use, foul language. Some people like to, say uncomfortable things. Some people, like I said. But I think in general terms, if folks can just learn to have a even amount of, or at least have some, how can I say this? So I want to say it the right way. And I know I'm preaching. I'm sorry. I couldn't think of anything else to talk about for the next, 10 or 15 minutes or whatever. People say that they're fine when they're not. And yes, that's lying. Some people have this dismissive avoidance kind of thing where they don't want to deal with the issues at hand, and instead of, helping, instead of the things that normal people do to, communicate and stay together or solve problems, they do the exact opposite. Wholeheartedly. They do the exact opposite. And I'm not saying nobody's bad for it or anything like that. But a lot of people, I think it was dismissive avoidance, and then there's attachment disorder or something like that. It's the opposite of dismissive avoidance. And a lot of times, a lot of these folks get together, and I know I'm going off on tangent. A lot of times these people get together and one's trying their best to just solve the issues, and I'm not saying that they're great at it, because they're pouring in or whatever. They're forcing the issues. They don't give space. They don't give, and all they try and do is just fix. Come on, go. And the other person is trying to be left the world alone. In their way, because of trauma in the past and things of that nature, a lot of times they don't feel safe giving themselves to the other person. They can only deal with one problem at a time. And a lot of it's like control issues and stuff like that. And mainly it's like they give distance, and then they go silent treatment, and it's a whole bunch of other stuff. And when two people get together like that, how when let's say, I'm not gonna say normal, but when the average, I can't say average. When folks break up, it's usually painful. It's painful. It's horribly painful. Okay. When a dismissive avoidant breaks up, it's the opposite. It's wonderful, because now they can they can stay to themselves or whatever, or restart with another person, and they're happy, and then they start everything that maybe the average Joe goes through, pain, suffering, healing, and then everything, and then they get better, and then they heal, and then they feel, they feel better, and then they move on with their lives. It's the opposite. I feel wonderful, great, but now I gotta think about it's like a reversal. It's literally a reversal. And a lot of times it takes years for them to really figure out that either they have a problem, or they might not even say they have a problem. They might be cool. The best thing I will say for you to do, now I'm no psychiatrist. In fact, I usually hear most of this on YouTube. Say the most thing you can do is swallow your emotions, get what you can get, and move on, or leave. Unless the person's willing to fix it. Now, the other person who's pouring in, I think it's whatever the opposite is. I hate to say it, learn to back off. Don't take things personal. Don't take everything so, don't take everything so, don't take things personal. Don't get offended all the time. Just kind of back off. It's hate to say it that way, but it's true. Give people space, give people time to breathe. You can't fix everything. Um, you know, you know, find something to do. You know, yeah, just find something to do. You know, find something else. You know, keep your mind busy while your other half, who's dealing with whatever they're dealing with, can do what they do and have your own life. I will personally say I have the hardest time doing that. And I'm not talking about just in a relationship. I mean, in general, I can admit that, because it's I'm used to helping. I'm used to fixing problems, as best as I can, and moving forward. Fix the issue. I can think of 18 different ways to fix one issue, and I'm not the smartest person in the world. But, I have this trial and error kind of thing going on most of the time where I'm just trying to solve the problem and move forward. That doesn't always work, though. Like, back in the day, I used to have this kind of mentality where if the inferno in the basement, instead of going to the light of creation, if the inferno was coming to the front door, so I'm trying to watch what I'm saying on YouTube. If the inferno's coming to the front door, then just open the door and let him in. You can't stop it. Let's get this over and done with and move on. Where that's not always great, Yeah, a lot of times stuff happens to you, but there's ways you can get through it, There's ways you can get through stuff, man. It's I'm not saying this to try to be somebody's doctor or anything like that, but if you got issues, the biggest thing for anyone of any whatever walk of life, talk it out. The biggest thing you can do when there's actually an issue, when it pops off, whatever the issue is, right there. If you can't get to it, say, hey, before you go to sleep, don't give the distance. Say, hey, we need to talk about this. Well, I know we can't talk about it now. Let's talk about it at a certain time. Don't go, okay, give it like 10 years or something like that. Or, I need to give distance, and then don't ever come back to it because you're comfortable giving, super distance and you never want to solve the problem. You just want to, sweep it under the rug and call it a day. No. But on the other end, don't try to, for the opposites, just jump on in and go and fix the problem. Sometimes you gotta let stuff simmer first. It's a time and place. If both people can just say, okay, hey, let's give a day to this. Okay, cool. But after that day, let's talk about it and call it a day. Or say, hey, look, I need time to myself. Okay, cool. How long you need? Hey, I need like 2 days just to get my mind right. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. I'll come back in 2 days and, we'll be cool. But, hey, give a text message or call or something like that just to let me know what's going on. Okay, cool. You see how easy that is? That's for anyone. Anyone. You see how easy that is? So, but that's just my little rant for this. I mean, I'm just kind of, for the most part, honestly, it was just a rant. I mean, because, trying to find something to talk about, and, it just kind of hit my brain, and I figured, it'd be something decent. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm no genius in it or anything like that. It came on my feed a while back, and I know a friend who goes through it sometimes. So I figured, at least give my 2 cents in, Now, I'm no professional. There's a lot to it. There's seminars about it. They'll talk about it and ways you can really help each other. Like I will say the biggest thing of all times. The biggest thing you can do. Fully Communicate in a way the other person understands it. And don't let problems just build up. There's an issue. Find a system that works so you can deal with the issue. If you can't deal with it immediately, don't let it just, add to the, like when I say there was something I brought up a while back, and I think this might help. There's something I've heard a while back, and I might be using this the wrong way. I think it's called don't thousand cut me to death. It's basically saying, and I'm using this the wrong way, but this is how I use it. This is how I use it, okay? It usually goes with the problems that come up right before you have contempt and resentment towards someone. It's basically, oh, you did this, here's one cut. You did that, here's another cut. You did this, and it might be small stuff, but you add it up after a period of time, and then it gets to a point where it gets like horrible, and then resentment and contempt and resentment comes up, and then it's over. Whether it's a friendship, a relationship, or whatever kind of ship you have. And my thing is, it didn't have to go that far. There's a problem right there. Hey, I need to talk to you right quick, but I'm at work, so is there any way that I can talk to you later? Okay, cool. Log it. Say, okay, I'll talk to you later. Can we set up a date for this day? And then you talk it out. You don't have to scream and yell. I will say this. I am guilty of that. I can honestly say that. I am guilty of that. I have to learn to not overreact and holler and scream with it. But on the other end, it's like, what's the issue? Let's get straight to the issue. Let's solve the problem, and let's move forward. And that's not a gender thing. That's not a pronoun thing. It's two human beings talking the problem out, solving the problem, and moving forward. That's it. That's all. That's all it is. Simple, plain to the point. You know what I'm saying? So, that was, sorry for the 30-minute rant, but like I said, a friend of mine's going through it like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm no professional. I'm no psychiatrist. I'm no nothing like that. Just my little corner of the world where, just a little bit of information goes a long way. And everybody always says, this is all I know. Well, if you have Google, then there's a lot more that you know. Okay? There's a lot more that you know. It's just what you choose to know. Now, at the end of the day, if I just want, everybody just to learn to talk to each other, learn to love each other, learn to respect one another, because if you respect each other, you love each other. Let me say that again. If you respect each other, you can love each other. Well, I'm going to say that one more time. That might sound like I'm preaching. I'm probably am. And I'm not a preacher. But if you respect each other, then you can love. They both are intertwined.
Shall lead us to victory.
A lot of people say, oh, well, men just need respect. No, men need respect and love. Women just need love, but they also need respect. You know, it's a thing, you know.
Always one step ahead.
Oh man. I hope this is the way out. I think this is the way out. Yeah, man, you know, just, you know, and I will say that school in general do not. Oh man, I went the wrong way. Oh well. School in general just doesn't teach you how to communicate anyway. They don't. You know, they really don't. Unless you're like a super genius or something that's like, look, they don't. And I'm kind of over it. And I wish that they just would. I just wish that they really would. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, people, pick up the pace.
But you know that's asking for too much and blah blah blah. And all this and all that. So it is what it is. Let me see what I got. This is the way out. I want to get out of here. Let me see. Is this the way out? Let me see. Yep. Okay, cool. Alright, but that's my time, you know, because my brain is spent, because I spent the majority of the time setting everything back up. Oh, my goodness gracious. Hopefully one of these days I'll be comfortable enough to kind of share a little more about myself. At least when it comes to certain things, you know, with social media, you kind of got to watch out for that. But I do got one last tidbit. If you don't have a big screen TV, think about getting a small projector, a nice, decent size Bluetooth speaker. Try to get like at least 2 of them. They're like really not necessarily big, but like they're loud. And a projector that has like a smartphone or app kind of situation to it, to where you can kind of just add Google Play. I mean, add your own Google information on there and stuff like that. And trust me, if you got white walls in your apartment, you pretty much got a movie screen waiting for you, okay? But yo, this is Chaos Ripid signing out, saying thank you, have a blessed, wonderful, and a fantastic day. So to everyone, please, and I say this because I know I got the same problem, learn to communicate. You are the 5 friends that you hang out with, and please, the last possible thing. Respect and love are intertwined. If you got one, you got the other. You hear me? All right. Peace! I'm out of here.